Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Schlingel-Talk. Jetzt soll es um Kinderfilme in Indien gehen und ich habe hier zwei Gäste. Da haben wir einmal die Dr Madhu Chopra. Sie ist in der CIFEJ-Jury. Die CIFEJ ist ein globales Netzwerk von professionellen Leuten, die in der audiovisuellen Branche arbeiten. Und wir haben Jitendra Mishra. Er ist Produzent und er ist auch Mitglied im Club of Festivals. Und die beiden bringen uns sozusagen die indische Perspektive auf den Kinderfilm. So, hello, nice to have you here in the talk.
Thank you very much for having us here.
You are looking at a lot of films now here at the festival. What do you like and what do you miss perhaps in the films you see over here in Chemnitz?
Frankly speaking, I can tell you that the quality of films this year was amazing. Very good selection. It was very difficult to pick out the winner, and also in addition, I've seen that many of these films have started going back to the roots, their culture, their tradition, and bringing a little musical also into it. That was something I really loved about the films this year. Not many, but I can see that, and it's pretty encouraging.
Would you say this is a big difference between films made in Europe and films made in India, that music doesn't play such a big role in our film industry?
Yes. In Indian films definitely have a lot of musical, and we don't have regular pop scene as such. Most of our songs are from the films as playback songs, and they are the ones that people grew up hearing. Halaki, now, in the recent few years, you see the pop scene also coming up. Now people appreciating songs other than film music. But music is huge in India. Music is very huge.
You're part of the CIFEJ-Jury.
Yes.
What kind of films did you watch as this jury?
I saw some wonderful films, yes. I can't really pinpoint what was good about them, but the performances, the direction, the cinematography, everything seems to have become like almost as large as mainstream cinemas. Otherwise, the concept was children's cinema doesn't get its due, cinematographically, production-wise. But this time, it was really wonderful.
The children film in India, what role does it play? Are there a lot of children films? Is there something like children festivals, or is it?
I think Jitendra is the biggest film festival for children that he organizes. I think he's one, and there's another government organization that has been doing it quite a bit, and they encourage children films. But it does not get that kind of promotion or push that we would love to see. We have made some amazing children's films. He makes a lot of them, and he encourages children's films. So he's the beacon. He leads the way for children's
The biggest
film
player
in India.
of children's film in India. And you made a very famous film 14 years ago. What kind of film was it, and why was it such a success?
The film was called I Am Kalam. It traveled across the globe because this was a simple story of humanity. So we label films as children film or grown-up film. But how do you pronounce Charlie Chaplin's film? Whether it's a children film or it's for grown-up.
Yeah.
Everybody can watch it. So that's how, first of all, we have to, take out the level of children's film. It should be a family film. And I believe I Am Kalam was a family film. And more than children audience, we always had, or now also, grown-up audience are watching, globally. So I think even if it's a simple story, it should connect human, it got success. And there is no big market, and this level is the biggest liability, I would say.
But now you made a festival in India with a lot of children's film from out of the world, and they are shown there.
Yeah.
How do children in India react? How do they like these films?
Of course, they love it, and I would believe there is a supply and demand, equation. So if we have some kind of demand, then we supply, right? We should do other way. We supply some product and automatically the demand will be increased. Like earlier McDonald's were nowhere, but now everybody knows McDonald's, and in villages also they would like to have McDonald's. So like that, if we don't have children film, we should bring children cinema.
Make it available.
Yeah, make it available. So we thought as producer, as businessman, we might not be able to produce regularly children film. Then why not bring them? So now we are a kind of showcasing much more films. Like we have 150 films in 7 days festival. Yeah.
What kinds of films are very successful if they come from Europe and from other parts of the world? What do children in India appreciate? What kind of topics are they interested in?
As per my experience, I would say friendship is the key, because they connect. Friendship is universal. Love is universal. So the culture might be different, but friendship, love, these are like everybody can feel from inside. So I think children, they can connect with films where there are a group of children, the friendship between them, the relationship between their parents. So I think family values, relationship values, they always win.
But how is the film industry organized in India? So we have, on the one hand, these big Bollywood productions with a lot of money, a lot of music, a lot of dancing, a lot of color. And now there are the other productions. Is it so a divided market, perhaps, with these big films and smaller ones? Or how would you describe the situation for filmmakers?
Yes, the smaller films are surprisingly doing very well now in the market. And if they find somebody to distribute it, they find a theater to showcase it, they are bringing in more money than the big films. Big films are mostly driven by market frenzy. They try to bring it on that way. So that doesn't last long. If the quality of the film is great, be it big or small, it works wonders. But now all these, I would say, smaller production houses, they are making such fantastic films that one of those small films like Lapata Ladies has gone to the Oscar also. That's amazing. Another Gujarati film, Chilo Show, that went to the Oscar. These are like small one-time production houses. And debut directors, debut screenplay writers, they bring in freshness, which is what the audience is looking for now. Something new, something original, something fresh. And that is what works.
So Bollywood is a bit the McDonald's of the film scene. They make a lot of very fast productions, and you think the smaller ones that are a bit more creative and more special, on the long run they have more success.
More success because they get ROI quicker. Small budget films, easier to get the returns, and even if they are showcased for 2 weeks, they have got back the money tenfold. So it makes business sense as well to encourage new, fresh stories and brilliant makers, especially the director, the editors. They have to be like on their toes and not just complacent. Okay, I keep doing films.
Is it the same experience you also make, that the small films in the end are more successful because they are made in another way with more deep stories, perhaps?
Yes, like I would say calculative risk. There is a term called calculative risk. So small investment might not give you a big return, but at least it won't give you loss. Big loss, yeah. So like she has produced children film that traveled the world. At the same time, she has produced also a Hollywood film that was nominated for the Oscar, White Tiger. So she has both kind of experience. I'm more into crossover films, like low budget films always, and I have that experience of at least recovering my investment. So I have already produced 6 international co-productions, but they all are very low budget, and we are very happy that we are creating content. At the same time, we are running our house. Yeah.
And do you think it's easier to make films over here or in India? What is the structure? How is it organized? Is it perhaps easier in Europe and in Germany? Or?
Question.
What?
I said it's a trick
Oh,
question.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a trick question. Not easy to answer that. So it's not very difficult to shoot in India. You have the permissions in place. Everywhere you have to have the licenses, the permissions, location permission. But all the units have a set position, set space. You just have to pay them the price. It gets done, and filming is not difficult at all. Sometimes there might be adverse action on the ground if your dialogue has something that is controversial or hard to digest, then you have small uphills. It's not difficult shooting in India, but shooting abroad is much, much easier compared to this. Why? Because I feel the entire unit is captive together in one place. It's easy to get them to point A to point B. It's easy to schedule their entire day's routine. I feel as a producer that I find shooting abroad tad bit easier than shooting in India, where everything is all over the place. To put them together is a big task. But once they're together, they all know their job pat. And it's wonderful working with an Indian crew.
Okay. Is it also your experience, or how would you say?
For low budget films, India is better because you can get it done very easily in a brotherhood manner, if not very professionally. No restrictions on working hour also, like you can make your own team, you can shoot on...
It's not like here where you need a permission for every shot you make and everything. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you have a budget, then you can shoot in Mars.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a good budget, then India is the best place, I would say.
So with your films, you bring the Indian culture to us, and also you see films from over here and bring our culture. What would you say, what are the things that are perhaps same, and what are the main differences? You said, okay, music is a big difference. Music is a big topic in the films in India. Are there other things that you realize that are perhaps much more important over here than in India, or the other way around?
Yeah, like cultural difference is always there that reflects on the film. Like she said, like music is of course like in Indian films, music plays a very vital role. But when we talk about children film, I would say it's like now it has become a world cinema. So it's almost same now. If I talk about 15 years back, maybe there was a difference. But after this digital revolution or OTT coming in, I think the filmmaking style has been like similar all over. Yeah.
So if the filmmaking style is similar on the whole, but if we have something like a world style, doesn't we lose our own cultures if we make this way of storytelling that works everywhere on the world?
Yeah, I think you are right to some extent. Like we are establishing factories rather than creative, studio. So after this corporate, coming in, I would say, yeah, you to some extent you are right. But at the same time there are so many filmmakers who stay connected to the roots and portrays the real culture, real thing. Yeah.
I think now filmmaking is more a combination of tradition and modernity. So which is why we feel there's a commonality between films made abroad and film made in India. But when you see the technological excellence, when you see the story moving with times, more modern, more sci-fi, more about video games and more about, especially for children's film. So I feel that we are moving with times also, and yet we maintain our traditional values. So it's a beautiful phase to make films. These are great years to make films when you can forge ahead, be modern, and you can still showcase your own roots.
Are you actually working on a film that is, or are you actually producing a film, and what kind of film is it?
This visit is not anything to do with production, but yes, we have a couple of 4 films in the pipeline in pre-production stage. They're good ones. I'm sad to say that none of the 4 are children's film, but they're more indie. 2 of them are indie, and 2 are different.
And perhaps as last question, did you enjoy the SCHLiNGEL this year and Chemnitz? Did you like it? Have you been very often here as well? Is it the first time?
This is my second visit to Chemnitz, and the first time I was a little lost, so didn't enjoy it as much. But this visit, I've really enjoyed Chemnitz. I've met a lot of friends that lost touch with, and it was great being here this time. It was wonderful. Thank you for having me as a jury. I really enjoyed myself.
It's a great pleasure. Perhaps you also last. How did you enjoy the SCHLiNGEL? Because last year you have been there, and you have been with the first film, with a very successful film. You also have been here already. Yeah. So you are a long-run SCHLiNGEL guest.
Yeah, like this is my 7th time here. In between, I couldn't come during COVID, but it's been more than 10 years. I think we have been partnered with SCHLiNGEL. So we exchange program, our film program. That way we exchange our art, culture, value system, and traditions through cinema. So we always bring one Indian film to showcase here. And Mr. Michael Harbau, he takes several German films to India to showcase. So we are family. We have become family.
What film did you bring this year, and what kind of film is it?
Yeah, it's a regional film. India is not just about Bollywood, so-called Bollywood, but this is a regional film from the eastern part of India, in Bengali language. It's called Soaring Wings, and the filmmaker is here, Palas Das, and this is a very beautiful film made with low budget again, and authentic story, original script. This film is in the competition. Let's see if it gets anything. So tomorrow is the award ceremony. So this year we are presenting this film, as part of the exchange program.
So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for bringing your films, your culture over here to us, to Germany, to the SCHLiNGEL. And it was a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Danke.
Damit sagen wir erstmal Tschüss vom SCHLiNGEL Talk zum Thema Kinderfilm in Indien. Und bis zum nächsten Mal. Macht's gut.